All right, so this is just a quick video to just get you a little acclimated to the calculator. Now, someone was in my office yesterday and they thought their calculator was broken. They had just put new batteries in it. So I wanted to show you what was wrong with their calculator. Their contrast key was really low. So if you hit the second key just one time and then hold down the downward arrow, watch my screen. And so what happened is their contrast key was so low that they couldn't see anything. So if you hit second and then the upward arrow key, do you see that comes back? And you can make that as dark as you want. Okay? So just make sure you check your contrast key if you think your batteries are low. Okay, so just some hints on these problems. I would like you to do them in one step. So get comfortable with your fraction key. Let me show you where your fraction key is. On your graphing calculator, if you hit the green key first, and then y equals, that's where your fraction options are. So if we hit enter, I could do things like enter 1 over 2. You see, I'm just using my arrow key to maneuver in the numerator down into the denominator and then pull out of the fraction. Plus, and then if I want to put another fraction in, it's just the alpha y equals key. And then I can navigate through the numerator and denominator by using the up and down arrow buttons, and then minus the next fraction. If you don't have a fraction key, maybe if you have a TI-83, then you just need to use parentheses. So 1 divided by 2 parentheses, there's your first fraction, plus, and then 3 divided by 4. You just need to enter in each fraction in parentheses, and then you can do this problem in one swoop. All right? And the other reminder is when you're making things negative, like here, this power is negative, and the 5 is negative, please remember to use that negative symbol. That's a subtraction key, and this is the negative key. All right. So on the next page, we're going to enter in a line into our calculator, all right? And then mess around with the viewing window. So to enter in any sort of equation into your calculator, we're going to hit that y equals button. So when you hit that button, I have some stuff in my calculator, so I'm going to hit clear. And then to enter the x value, you enter in the key that's right next to alpha. It says x t theta n. That's how you enter in x. So 2x plus 1. So what I asked you to do here is I want you to hit zoom. And zoom has these standard windows so that you can look at your graph paper. And so we're going to hit zoom standard. And that will give me my nice looking line. Now, to see what the graph paper is worth with the tick marks and how far to the left and to the right we're looking at our screen, you just hit window, and that tells you that the smallest x value is -10, the biggest x value is 10, the x scale is 1, the smallest x value or y value is -10, the biggest y value is 10, and the x scale is 1. So that's, we go from -10 to 10, -10 to 10, and I'm going to tell you now the x scale and the y scale tells you what each tick mark is worth. So in this case, each tick mark is worth 1. So now what I want you to do is I want you to go to zoom, and I want you to hit z square. And that's option number 5. So I hit zoom and then 5. And you'll notice that there's quite a few more tick marks. So when I hit the window value, this has much more tick values in the left and right direction. So I'm going further to the left and right with an x scale of 1. but the same values in the y direction. So what zoom square does is that it levels out the playing field in the x and y direction versus, or the x direction versus the y direction. I want to explain it and see if it makes sense. Because this is longer in the left, right than up and down, for the tick marks to have the same length, we need to have more x values left and right than we do up and down. Otherwise, our graph's a little distorted. So in the standard window, do you see x goes from -10 to 10? And you don't need to do this, I'm just going to show you. Do you see the tick marks are each worth 1, but they're bigger. There's a bigger distance in the left and right than in the y value, because from here to here we're going 10, so the tick marks are spread out. But in the vertical direction, there's still 10 tick marks, so the tick mark values are smaller. So to have like a better perspective on these graphs, we can go zoom square, zoom 5, and that will make all of the tick value lengths the same. Okay. And then the last little bit talks about entering a window on your own. So if I wanted to look at this graph paper here between -2 and 3 for x and -5 to 7 for y, you just need to hit your window and you can hand type in, I'm going to hit clear, hand type in what window you would prefer. So I'm hitting clear on top of each of these, clear, and then I can enter in whatever window that I prefer. And then we can look at the graph. Okay, and so just to answer again, the x scale and the y scale, that labels the tick mark value. So what do the x scale and y scale do for the viewing screen? The x scale and y scale dictate the tick mark value. So if you just want to watch, so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tick marks from -2 to 3. But if I say, okay, I want the tick marks to each, I'm going to have them be worth 2. Do you see how from here this is 0 to 2 there, and then I have a half one to get to the 3. So since they're worth 2, do you see how I only have one tick mark? -2 to 0, 0 to 2, because I made each tick mark be worth 2. Okay? And then the last thing I want to show you, before I have you do one on your own, is to look at the table feature. So table is labeled in the top row. It's blue, so to get to it, you have to hit the blue key, the second key first. Now, if you have values in there, you can just clear them out. I'm sorry, or delete them out. So watch what I'm going to do. Instead of clear, we're going to go delete, delete, delete. Get down here and just start deleting these. See, I'm just on top of it, and I'm just hitting delete. Now, if you have filled in X values that you're not deleting, I want you to go to table set, and I want you to have, so I hit, it's in blue, so I have to hit the blue key first. I want you to go to table set and have your calculator ask you the independent and automatically give you the dependent. So use your arrows, and when ask for the independent is highlighted, hit enter. And then when the dependent is highlighted, use your arrows, just hit enter on top of that. So when you go to table, you won't have to delete everything, and it should be nice and clear right now. So we have 2x plus 1, and if we go to table, we can just hand type in these x values. See, I'm just typing in the number, and then I'm hitting enter, and it will automatically, hitting enter, it will automatically generate the list of y values. So when x is -5, y is 9. When x is -2, y is -3. When x is 3, y is 7. When x is 11, y is 23. And when x is 25, y is 51. So I want you to generate another table of values using that function. So we're going to go into our y equals. Let's clear that out. And then we're going to type in x squared. So x squared. Use your arrow to bring it down out of the exponent. Minus 3x. And then plus 7. Go to your table. And then you can hit delete, right? Do you see I'm just kind of hitting delete to get rid of those? I like to delete them, or you can type on top of them. So enter in those values and write the appropriate y value. Then the last thing that I want you to do on your calculator is I want you to practice using the intersect key. If you have an equation and you have values on either side of your equation, you can use the intersect key to find the solution for those equations. So what I want to do is I want to go to my y equals. Here, let's play with this one first. So what you want to do is enter the first equation into y1 and enter the second equation into y2. Okay, so square root of x plus 2 into y1, and then x minus 3 into y2. And I'm going to hit zoom, and then I'm just going to hit zoom 6 and see what I can see. All right. So do you see that these two graphs cross? And the x value that satisfies both is where they intersect. So if you're trying to find something on your calculator that's on your graph, like a solution off your graph, you want to go to calc. So I always say, if in doubt, go to calc. It's blue, so I hit the blue key first. And then does everyone see that intersect key? So we're going to hit number 5 and then 3 enters. 1, 2, 3. And there's your first intersection. And all I want is the x value. And I would like you to round these to 2 decimals. So 5 and 79 hundredths. So to find the absolute value button, up here, let's clear these out. The absolute value option is under math, and it's the first option. So when I hit math and then go over to num, I arrowed over to num and hit enter. There's where your absolute value key is. And so I'm just going to type in 9x minus 3. And then I'm going to go down and type in 7. And I'm going to hit graph. And then I can see there are 2 points of intersection. Okay, so if in doubt, go to calc, option 5, and then 3 enters. 1, 2, 3. So there's one point of intersection. Negative 0.44. Now there's another one right here. So in order to find that one, if in doubt, go to Calc, enter 5. We've got to tell the calculator you need to work your way over to this point. So this is too far to the left, so I'm going to hit my right arrow. Do you see that cursor's going down and then to the right? So as soon as it's closer to this one than this one, you go 1, I'm hitting enter, 2, 3, and it will find the other point of intersection, or where those two graphs cross. Okay, let's try one more. So for this, put this into y1, this into y2, and then I'm gonna get you started on it, and then I want you to finish it off. When you hit graph, here's x squared. You can't see x equals 0 being drawn, but it is because it's the axes right there. So you're going to use intersect to find that point of intersection and that point of intersection. All right, so I know that was short and sweet. You should be able to do 9 and 10. Okay, this is due. If you're a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, this is due on Wednesday. And if you're a Tuesday, Thursday class, this is due on Thursday. All right, let me know if you have any questions.